Wow, we virtually saved that one quite did not he, oh Miles, you slide dog you. It's almost just like the man was completely retconned and after the truth. However, don't worry, we will communicate greater approximately spiders soon enough. Consider that anyway, all is properly and non-violent and idyllic in Jake's world until in the future the humans go back under pressure and establish a brand new town for themselves. And I love how all and sundry are completely shocked by using this event. I suggest, actually, did you observe they have been just gonna give up one of the maximum precious planets in the universe simply because they suffered one temporary setback anyway? The people are not here just to mine Pandora for assets this time around. Now they want to colonize the complete planet and make it their new home because reputedly, Earth is loss of life due to pollution or overpopulation or something. How precisely did they plan to colonize an alien planet in which they cannot even breathe the air without loss of life? Don't know, and the humans aren't the best factor. It really is. Again, either remember Colonel Quidditch from the first film recalled how he absolutely died when nature turned him into a human pincushion. Properly, he's returned in Navi form. Yeah, reputedly before his very last task he took the precaution of downloading all his memories and persona onto a laptop, which then was given and uploaded into a new avatar body that was effortlessly being grown for him. Well, that changed into Lucky. It's also fortunate they apparently did all these things off display screen, as it's not like Cameron would retcon all of this stuff in after the fact simply to deliver back a famous the antagonist or whatever. Oh yeah, I assume I will smell shite. Besides, regardless of the upshot is that Blue Man Quidditch and the relaxation of his squad are sent out to assassinate Jake and his own family, and although they fail in the trial, they're able to seize the spider and take him prisoner, understanding that he may finally lead Quidditch and the others return to the Navi. Jake and the others make the selection to run away and are looking for safe haven with the water people on the opposite side of the planets. I suggest if I was Quidditch I would in all likelihood pass there anyway, take the entire tribe prisoner and begin interrogating human beings till someone informed me where Jake went. However, perhaps it's just me. Both ways, this all leads into what I love to name the own family drama section of the film, and also you'd better strap in for this one because it's as a minimum 90 minutes of sheer inertia. I can't emphasize sufficiently how dull this whole phase is. It is actually a cheap, predictable teenager drama ported right into a sci-fi place with great visuals. Jake and his family should circulate to a new community in which his children struggle to make friends and get into fights with nearby bullies, and the need to prove themselves to find out a policy in the group. The weird, socially awkward daughter ultimately unearths her calling in life, and one and all his sons even starts a mixed-race dating with a neighborhood lady. It is the sort of trite, cliched stuff that we've all visible 1 million instances earlier than, and the reality that it is all happening among blue alien smuff humans, and that the film takes itself so absolutely critically makes the entirety by chance hilarious. Besides, after approximately 3 ISO, while the script recalls that there's speculated to be other stuff going on, so Quidditch and his diabolical pals show up and kill a group of massive sea turtle whale things to make the Navi indignant, after which there may be a large shootout on a massive flying boat thing and a maximum of the bad guys die and Jake and the others live luckily ever after. Breaking Avatar 2 down is a form of a tough one because it seems like the whole lot that counts in its prefer also finally ends up working against it in the end. As I said in advance, it is a visible masterpiece that's excellent to look at, and you can tell that a whole lot of love and care went into crafting the world of Pandora, from the timber and the landscapes to the colorful ecosystems and natural world. But then, as I kind of expected in my trailer video, visible spectacle turned into nothing new in movies these days, and the greater you spot it in this film, the much less effect it ends up. Realistically, there are simplest such a lot of amazing pictures of alien landscapes, underwater reefs, towering jungles, and floating mountains that I'm able to take before my brain becomes a sort of numb to the whole thing. It is like being 0.33 in the world's largest chocolate cake morning, noon, and night time for a whole 12 months. Subsequently, you're gonna get sort of sick of it. The tale of Jake and his battle to guard his own family is meant to be the glue that holds this film together, and at the same time as it is really refreshing to look a modern-day film that champions the significance of the circle of relatives unit instead of trying to decor, educate, and smash it, and which dares to portray fathers as brave protectors, clever instructors, and sturdy leaders rather than useless, incompetent, effeminate cowards. It also doesn't in reality increase J. Cole that a good deal as a character. Basically, he starts the movie as a loving father inclined to make hard selections to maintain his own family safe, and he ends the film in exactly the same way. See what you want about the primary movie, but Jake at least had a definable person arc in that story, definitely, although the narrative focused less on Jake and the Terry and greater on their children, and that creates its very own set of troubles, because actually, the teen drama stuff drags on for goodbye, that the whole plot basically stops useless within the water for a very good hour, to the factor wherein I genuinely started to forget what became even presupposed to be happening. It turned into like being locked in a sensory deprivation tank, which all the concept of time and space starts to melt away. The movie's environmental messaging is commendable, I wager, but it's carried out about as subtly as the anti-colonial stuff from the primary movie rather than the magical mineral from the first Avatar, the new magical. The idea of time and are beginning to melt away. The film's environmental messaging is commendable, I wager, but it's implemented about as subtly because of the anti-colonial stuff from the first movie as opposed to the mystical mineral from the first Avatar, the brand new magical. Underscore material at the coronary heart of this film is the brain fluid from the massive sea turtle whale things that the Na'vi love, and I'm no longer kidding, they simply love them like they forestall and feature chats with them about how their family lives are going and the way their days running out. And again, this movie portrays a ludicrous concept in any such critical way that it turns into by chance hilarious, but then of the direction the human beings have to reveal up to ruin the birthday celebration, they get brutally hunted with harpoons, and it's all proven an excruciating element. And I found myself asking an easy question, why, like I assume all of us pretty plenty agree a long time in the past, that well-looking is awful and pointless and should not be accomplished anymore, and it simply feels weird for this movie to make it the sort of thematic focal point. Additionally, there is not even the slightest try in painting the humans with any type of nuance or subtlety. The fact that they're on Pandora to actually fight for the survival of their species opens up a few thrilling possibilities, approximately the moral imperative behind their moves, and whether or not they could have a legitimate cause for doing all of this. But good day, why waste time on complicated, intriguing questions like that after you could have any other hour of lovingly rendered blue teenagers swimming through glow-in-the-dark coral reefs? Because the equal simplistic black and white morality is the primary film, the human beings, nearly without exception, are portrayed as evil, unfavorable, greedy, militaristic, pollution-spewing monsters that spread like most cancers throughout the impossible herbal beauty of Pandora, whilst the Na'vi are depicted within the most flattering, viable light at all times. They're peaceful, harmonious, egalitarian, brave, noble, selfless, and completely in tune with the herbal surroundings. It's basically the tired, noble, savage trope ported over into blue aliens, oh yeah. And then there's Spider God. I hate this character, his complete presence on this. The film makes certainly zero feel. Why might you pick out to stay on an alien planet where the very air might kill you in case you didn't have a magic respirator with infinite oxygen that in no way falls off, receives broken, or stops functioning? Why does he talk like a Californian for? Bro, why does his actor now not have any actual performing capacity? Why does he make a truly terrible choice at the cease of the film with the purpose of almost genuinely bringing about untold loss of life and struggle for his followers? Humans don't know all of these things. Smacks of a filmmaker this has been given a piece too. An awful lot of electricity and cash for his personal goods. I suggest I cannot fault the amount of care and work that Cameron's obviously put into the technical factors of Avatar 2. I just want he'd positioned that identical degree of thought into the tale and characters in particular, whilst he had 13 years to do it, and greater than that, I want someone who had been around to make him do it. The more I consider this film, the more I'm reminded of the Celebrity Wars prequels, where George Lucas had unlimited innovative and economic freedom to indulge all his worst excesses as a filmmaker, and all of us around him became too afraid to call him out on an Avatar 2 suffers from a similar problem. It's what happens whilst a filmmaker is given too much time, an excessive amount of money, and an excessive amount of freedom, and it all starts to visit his head. Ultimately, I struggle to determine whether or not or no longer to advocate this film to human beings if it had been an hour shorter and maybe a piece smarter and extra nuanced. It would be a no-brainer for me, but because it stands, even though it's better than almost something else placed out through Disney this year, it's so long, so bloated, and so self-indulgent that I genuinely do not know if it's worth your time and money, and if the early box workplace outcomes are something to head via. I may not be the most effective one. Besides, this is all I've got for nowadays. Leave now.